Recording in progress.
Good evening class. Today we will be discussing polity and governance ka current affairs topics. The topics of discussion is Bal Vivah Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, Governor's Rule in Chakma Autonomous District Council, Aadhaar Mascot Uday, Responsible Nations Index, and last is India's Maritime Strategy. Now, first one is Bal Vivah Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, which means we are trying to end child marriage in India. This has been launched by Ministry of Women and Child Development. Now, what is the objective? You see, it is largely eliminate child marriage, promote gender equality, and also align with the goal of Vikshit Bharat at 2047, which means developed India by 2047. You want to write this down? You're writing? Okay, write on the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Done? What are the main aspects of this particular campaign if you see? First thing is Child Marriage Free India portal. That is, you have a particular portal where, let's say you are knowing that somewhere child marriage is happening, I need to stop that, but how do I stop that? You can access your Child Marriage Free India portal, where you will get all the information about child marriage prohibition officers. Okay, these people will be the one who will intervene, counsel, create awareness about these child marriage prevention. And thus by doing this, this will strengthen your PCMA. PCMA means Prohibition of Child Marriage Act of 2006. Understanding? And the other key feature of this campaign, if you see, pledge against child marriage. Want to write down the act? Okay, write down. Done? And at the same point of time, India doing this is also linked with the global movement that is happening. What is that? It is aligned with 16 days against gender-based violence, which was happening from 25th November to 10th December. Also, 25th November is International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women, and 10th December is your Human Rights Day. Now we saw this child marriage prohibition officers, no? What are they going to do? First thing is they will intervene when you let them know what is the issue. Then they will prevent this child marriage, collect evidence for prosecution, and they will also counsel the families. They will try to bring in awareness. Now these particular child marriage prohibition officers are appointed under section 16 of PCMA Act, Prevention of Child Marriage Act. Understanding? So, if you see where exactly if we are trying to bring this, means it is throughout India, but there are certain states which have high prevalence of child marriages there. Which are those states? West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, Rajasthan, Tripura, Assam and Andhra Pradesh. Next. Now we have brought in a lot of policies over the years which have been trying to reduce your violence against women and also against with respect to your female infanticide. We have, for example, your Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. We have other empowerment schemes like Sukanya Samruddhi Yojana. Right, so keeping all this in mind, there have been policies which have been targeted to reduce your gender-based violence and also to bring in a sense of women empowerment. How do we know? We can tell that because your sex ratio at birth has improved significantly. That is, for 2014-15 there was only 918 births of girl children. Now 23 to 24 it is 930. The percentage has increased. Now we will see with regarding to prohibition of your Child Marriage Act. First thing, under the definition of child, girls less than 18 years, boys less than 21 years are not, now generally if you tell minimum marriageable age, for girls it is 18 years, for boys it is 21 years. Now if the marriage of a girl happens where she is below 14 years of age, then the case will be charged under your POCSO. If the girl is between 14 years to 18 years, that is below 18 years, let's say 17 years, then it will be charged under your Prevention of Child Marriage Act. Understanding? And also there will be penalty provisions for your adult grooms, parents, guardians, priests, facilitators who and all are involved. Okay, punishments are given there. Next, look at this. Your Lok Sabha pe a bill was introduced to increase the marriageable age for women. Okay, that was your Prohibition of Child Marriage Amendment Bill of 2021, wherein they proposed to increase the marriageable age of women for 21 years. But this particular bill got lapsed because the 17th Lok Sabha got dissolved. Now let's look at a possible question from this particular topic. Consider the following statements in the context of United Nations Conventions on Right of a Child. Now if you say someone is a child, they have a holistic right of certain things such as right to development, right to expression and right to entertainment. Which of the above are the rights of children? Correct answer is all three. Next is Governor's rule in Chakma Autonomous District Council. Right. Done? First and foremost, why is this particular topic in news? See, your Governor of Mizoram, he has further extended the governor's rule in Chakma Autonomous District in Mizoram. He has did this even when your cabinet, the state cabinet was against this. They told no, it is not needed, and yet your governor went ahead and extended the governor's rule in this autonomous district for another 6 months. Okay, so this particular place has been under governor's rule from your 2025 onwards. Now we will see about your Chakma Autonomous District Council, which was constituted in 1972 under your 6th schedule of the constitution. Okay. What is the concept of creating something called a Chakma Autonomous District Council so as to protect their political rights and preserve the cultural identity of the Chakma people. Alongside this, your Chakma Autonomous District Council has certain rights. Legislative rights, which is only with respect to the subjects which are mentioned. They have certain executive rights and also judicial powers only in customary matters. Okay, certain other aspects such as, let's say, where life imprisonment of above 5 years topic and all is involved, then it will go to the respective High Court. So what does it imply? That they have a autonomy, greater autonomy. If you see with respect to Chakma people, they are the second largest scheduled tribe in Mizoram after your Mizos. They are the first. Their language is Chakma, their religion is, they follow Buddhism, and also they follow agriculture under your Jum cultivation. Now, where and all are they spread? If you see, it is in Chittagong Hill Tracts, Mizoram, Tripura and Arunachal Pradesh. You want to write this? Write this down. Done? Okay. Now, first and foremost, now we will see the static portion of your autonomous district councils. See, autonomous district councils means it is in your 4 specific states: Meghalaya, Mizoram, Assam, Tripura. The concept of autonomous district councils are given, or these are created through your 6th schedule of the constitution. And also one more important thing, if you see about this autonomous district councils, now your governor of this state, okay, he has considerable independence. Meaning how? Let's say the governor has instituted an inquiry committee against your autonomous district council. If he finds that yes, something is not right, then he can suspend them and temporarily he can take over the powers for himself. Understanding? And another aspect of your governor is he decides how many district councils should I create or abolish. All of this comes under your governor. So 6 schedule areas where they will create something called as autonomous districts and autonomous regions. So it is the governor's power which is to create, alter or reorganize these autonomous districts or autonomous regions. Understanding? Those 2 important things you have to know. Okay, write down. Okay. Now we will see the composition of this autonomous districts. Maximum members can be 30 members, of which 26 will be elected and 4 will be nominated. These 26 elected members will have a total term of 5 years. The remaining 4 elected members, that is 4 nominated members by governor, will hold the office until the pleasure of governor. Understanding? So everywhere it will be 30 with the exception of your Bodoland Territorial Council, which is in Assam, which has 46 members. Now, we will see, so the concept of application of your parliamentary law or your state legislature law, automatic application or automatic rejection concept will not apply in these areas. Meaning, in Assam, the governor will decide which of the laws will apply or which of them can be applied with modifications. With respect to Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram, the president through a presidential notification will tell which of the central laws will apply to Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram, and the state laws the governor will tell. Okay. In Assam's case, both is governor. We'll move ahead. We will see one possible question from this topic. With reference to the Chakma Autonomous District Council, consider the following statements. It was constituted under Article 371 of Indian Constitution. It was established to protect the political and cultural interest of Chakma people, and it exercises legislative, executive and limited judicial powers. See, the statement is correct. For political and cultural interest, this is correct. But the first one, it was constituted under Article 371. It was not constituted under Article 371. It was constituted under 6th schedule. So this statement is wrong. The correct ones are only 2 and 3. Next topic is Aadhaar mascot Uday. Register. Now, do you see this cute little guy? Yeah, this guy is your Uday. This Uday. Okay? He is the mascot. Your Uday, look at this, Unique Identification Authority of India has introduced Uday, this cute guy. Okay? What is the reason of this mascot? resident friendly communication tool and also to raise awareness. Understanding? What is the objective or why is this cute guy created? First and foremost, for any Aadhaar updates, authentication of data, offline Aadhaar verification, responsible Aadhaar usage, and to bring in a sense of awareness about this. Here now, because we are discussing this topic of Aadhaar mascot, then similar aspect with Aadhaar also should be seen. Aadhaar is a 12-digit biometric identification number which is issued by Uday. Now, one most important thing you have to know is Aadhaar is not a proof of citizenship. It is just a proof of identity and proof of address. It is not a proof of citizenship, not a proof of nationality, not a proof of date of birth. Not a proof of nationality means can foreigners also get Aadhaar card? Yes, foreigners also can get Aadhaar card provided they satisfy certain conditions. Let's say you have to stay in India for these many days, let's say 182 days previously you should have stayed, then you have to submit few documents that we will ask, and those and all if you have done, then even you will get Aadhaar card. So Uday is a statutory authority and it has been given established under your Aadhaar Act of 2016. Now if you have to be eligible to get an Aadhaar card, what you should do? Any individual including foreign nationals must have resided in India for 182 days or more, and in the last 12 months preceding the enrollment they also have to submit at least any of the mentioned ID or address document, ID proof or address proof. Now one of the landmark judgments with regarding to your Aadhaar, if we will discuss, it will be your Justice Puttaswamy case, wherein they held that your Aadhaar is constitutionally valid but it will not offer any citizenship, or it is not a citizenship or domicile or nationality proof. It is just a identity verification. Okay. We'll see one possible question from this topic. With reference to Aadhaar and recently introduced Uday mascot, consider the following statements. Uday has been introduced by Unique Identification Authority of India to make Aadhaar services more accessible and citizen friendly. Is this statement right? Okay, correct. Aadhaar serves as a proof of citizenship and domicile for residents of India. Is it? Is it a proof of citizenship? No. This is one thing we told it is not. Under the Aadhaar Act of 2016, foreign nationals residing in India for a specified minimum period are eligible to enroll for Aadhaar. Correct? Correct options are 1 and 3. Next topic, Responsible Nations Index. Right. See, look at the name itself, Responsible Nations, which means somewhere it has something to do with a sort of good governance aspect. Yes. So why is this particular topic in news? Your World Intellectual Foundation has launched Responsible Nations Index. What is this? This is India's first globally anchored index in, look at the keyword here, responsible nationhood. Understanding? Responsible nationhood means as a particular nation, irrespective of the legally binding elements, you have an obligation to act as a moral anchor, or that is to tell you have the moral obligation. Understanding? What moral obligation you have? Let's see. So a Responsible Nations Index is a comparative index which will see the responsible governance of a country and not just the might of its GDP. There would be certain countries which might be growing very well, but they will have very basic lack of good governance. Yes, so this particular Responsible Nations Index is for assessing the overall governance of the nation and not just the GDP. It covers more than 154 countries. Now, this is developed by World Intellectual Foundation, which has collaborated with your JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University, IIM Mumbai, and Dr. Ambedkar International Center. Want to write this down? Okay, write this down. Done? So, what is the importance here? It shifts the focus from economic power or military power. Usually, when we try to assess or group a bunch of countries, we say developed country, developing country, least developed countries. Largely, it will be based on your economic power. So, this shifts the focus from economic power and military power to largely ethical governance, human well being, global cooperation, and environmental responsibility. So, these are the core philosophies of a responsive nation index. Okay, write this down. Done? So, your responsive nation index has three main responsibilities. One is internal responsibility within the country, environmental responsibility for your overall aspects of climate change, environmental sustainability, and last is external responsibility. Under internal responsibility, first and foremost, the concepts such as rule of law, okay, welfare of your citizens, and also inclusive governance means reducing the aspects of your corruption, understanding freedom of speech, expression, all of those. Environmental means again you will try to use natural resource stewardship, climate action, environmental sustainability, understanding, and last is contribution to global peace, multilateral cooperation, and global stability. If you see, these are all the features that India has always wanted in international relations. Today, if you see, India's foreign policies are guided by the concept of multilateralism or multipolar world. So, if you have to live in a world that is more interconnected now than ever, then the concept of your multipolar world also emerges than your conventional bipolar or unipolar worlds. So, if you have to be in a multipolar world, these are not just the needs but these are necessities. We'll see one possible question from this topic. With reference to a Responsible Nations Index, consider the following statements. The Responsible Nations Index assesses countries based on ethical governance and global responsibility rather than GDP centric indicators. Correct or wrong? Correct. You are moving away from just GDP to your ethical governance and global responsibility. Next. It has been developed by World Intellectual Foundation in collaboration with Indian academic institutions. Correct, like your JNU and all. Look at this. Environmental responsibility under your Responsible Nations Index includes assessment of military expenditure and defense preparedness. Now, we told these two are the things that we are shifting away from. Not your economic might, not your military might, but your aspects of individual, environmental, and international responsibilities. So, this is wrong. Correct answer is 1 and 2 only. Next topic is India's maritime strategy. First and foremost, why is it in news? Recently, the hindsights about how India's maritime policy has evolved has been seen in your Routledge Handbook of Maritime India. In this, it shows how India's evolving maritime outlook is. Let me take it from two perspectives. From your ancient to contemporary. Why I have not taken in pieces of your colonial, medieval, all these is because there is a continuity of the policies that we see. As in, from the ancient period of time, your Indian Ocean or India as a geography is characterized as North Bay Himalayas and in the south is Indian Ocean. Okay, and also India has always seen its Indian Ocean as a huge opportunity rather than threat. We have never seen Indian Ocean as a threat filled area, but rather as a land and as a area filled with opportunities. We can make it sure from your aspect of your cholas. Yes or no? They had a very good naval power. The contemporary period of time, we have moved towards a more inclusive, robust and growing aspects with respect to our Sagar doctrines, Sagarmala doctrines, okay, and Mahasagar doctrines. All of this is trying to make sure of the same opportunity or the same ideology we had from ancient time to contemporary time. That is why I told the ideology didn't change. Indian Ocean is seen as opportunity rather than your threats. So we have shifted from land-centric security to comprehensive maritime strategy. Early maritime orientation was Himalayas in the north, Indian Ocean in the south. That was our geography that we used to tell. But if you see contemporary maritime strategy, what is there with respect to Indian Ocean means, we see it as a security perspective, development, sustainability. Ocean is treated as a strategic asset, economic asset and a ecological asset. So, compared to your ancient times, the present times has come to a phase where we are leaning more and more towards a comprehensive maritime strategy. If you see how are our policies, first is your Sagar doctrine. Security and growth for all in the region, which is about your Indian Ocean as a shared growth for all the neighborhood countries. Understanding? And Mahasagar, this is expansion of Sagar principles where we are telling security plus development plus sustainability. These three are to be main focus. Next is Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative where we are trying to create a rule-based maritime order. Right. Done? So, what is the new changes that we have did? We have replaced all the colonial laws with Merchant Shipping Act of 2025, Carriage of Goods by Seas Act of 2025 and Indian Ports Act of 2025. So, we are creating our laws which were earlier we were carrying forward that colonial legacy, but now we are with this acts trying to be more in touch with the modern problems, issues and also a global rule-based order. What are the challenges to your India's maritime security? See, when you say about your ocean, okay, or your maritime security, they are the new grounds for security. They are the new grounds for development and also they are the new grounds for your power, which is what your China is trying to do with respect to your China's presence, especially with your China string of pearls policy. it is trying to encircle India, and especially it is having a large and it is wanting to have a large presence in Indian Ocean. For example, with your Hambantota port of your Sri Lanka under your China's control. Okay, like that it is trying to create a larger focus. Now let's say with respect to your neighborhood governance deficits, if you see as of now, we have had good relationship. Maritime security was one of the prime things with respect to your BIMSTEC, IORA countries. Yes, but now what has happened because of the conflict in the ongoing regions, let's say India, Bangladesh, India, Myanmar. So there is a trust deficit, and also the China factor is dominating largely. And also there is a huge Indo-Pacific uncertainty. Now, Indo-Pacific region, let's say your Quad framework. Your Quad framework is between your India, Japan, Australia, USA. These have become a little bit more uncertain because of your conflicts such as your Russia-Ukraine conflict, your Gaza conflict. Because of this, the movement which had to happen in this way has reduced. Next is choke point vulnerabilities. Now we have choke point vulnerabilities like your Bab el Mandeb, Strait of Hormuz, right? So we have to create another alternate ways in order to find new aspects. And with respect to shipping, 2019 when we saw with the beginning of your Houthi attacks, especially in your Bab el Mandeb, that showcased how much the shipping price increased and how much effect it had on your global shipping itself. So that vulnerability still remain irrespective of the wide aspect of your Indian Ocean region. Next, underwater domain deficit. This is one thing that India suffers and struggles largely. See, we do not have your aspect of your underwater mapping, okay, and also seabed, right? So these kind of things, India is still not playing a very active, large role, but we need a lot of those, and a lot of awareness of that is needed. And most important issue is climate change, which is acting as a force multiplier largely, which affects your developing and least developed countries. Now see, these are all the areas. What are the areas? I told you, Hambantota Port, Malay of Maldives, Kyokpo of Myanmar, okay, your Cambodia, Hong Kong, South China Sea, your Gwadar Port of Pakistan, right? Your Sudan Port. Now remember I told you Bab el Mandeb, it comes here. Okay, all these are your chunks which has been controlled by your China in order to gain the advantage of maritime security. Understanding, your South China Sea is a conflict of your Indo-Pacific which India tells, and in the Indo-Pacific, India's constant push for rule-based maritime order. Understanding? We'll see a possible question from this topic. With reference to the evolution of India's maritime strategy, consider the following statements. India historically viewed the Indian Ocean primarily as a zone of threat due to repeated maritime invasions. We have never seen Indian Ocean as a zone of threat, but rather we have always seen it as a zone of opportunities. The first statement is wrong. Economic liberalization contributed to India's maritime reorientation by deepening integration with global supply chains. Correct. Anti-piracy operations in early 2000s helped establish India as a net security provider in the Indian Ocean region. Yes, largely when we see with respect to your East Asian countries, your Myanmar and all these countries, one of the largest thing is your anti-piracy. So the correct statements are 2 and 3 only. Okay. With this, we come to the end of the content. Any doubts so far? Anything you didn't understand? Online class, any doubts? Then we'll end the session.